Have you ever dreamed of living a double life, one full of secrets, danger, and impossible missions? Tonight, we dive deep into the hidden world of spies, where loyalty is tested, bullets fly, and nothing is ever what it seems. From Ethan Hunt's death-defying stunts to James Bond's suave chaos, these stories pull you into the shadows of international espionage. So grab your gear, trust no one, and let's uncover the top 10 best spy action movies of all time, because in this game, survival is the ultimate mission. 1. Mission Impossible. Fallout, 2018. When a mission goes wrong and the world teeters on the edge of nuclear catastrophe, Ethan Hunt must face not only his enemies but the weight of his own decisions. You know that moment when everything could collapse, the plan, the team, the trust, and yet someone still runs headfirst into danger? That's Ethan Hunt. He's not your typical spy who hides behind gadgets and luxury suits. He's the man who jumps out of planes at 25,000 feet. Who dangles from helicopters. Who breaks every rule to save a world that keeps turning its back on him. Fallout isn't just another action film, it's a dance of chaos and loyalty, where every explosion echoes a choice between the mission and the man. The story throws us into the aftermath of a failed operation, 3 stolen plutonium cores, a terrorist group called the Apostles, and a haunting message: the greater the suffering, the greater the peace. It's classic Mission Impossible, but with something deeper lurking beneath the surface. Hunt isn't just saving the world, he's saving his soul. The tension doesn't come from bombs or bullets, it comes from the question of how much a man can sacrifice before he loses himself completely. And then there's the breathtaking choreography of it all. The halo jump through a thunderstorm, the bone-rattling motorcycle chase through Paris, the helicopter duel over the mountains of Kashmir. Every frame screams urgency, precision, and madness. You can almost feel the air rip past your face as the camera dives with crews mid-fall. It's not CGI magic, it's real sweat, real gravity, and real risk. That's what makes Fallout different. It doesn't want you to just watch the danger, it wants you to live it. But beyond the adrenaline rush, there's heart. Luther, Benji, and Ilsa are more than sidekicks, they're fragments of Hunt's humanity, pulling him back from the edge every time he gets too close to becoming the ghost he fights. And Henry Cavill's August Walker, cold, calculating, the perfect embodiment of a system that sees loyalty as weakness, becomes the mirror that forces Hunt to confront what he truly believes in. By the time the final helicopter crashes and the dust settles, you're left breathless, not just from the stunts, but from the emotional gravity of it all. Mission Impossible. Fallout isn't about saving the world. It's about proving that even in a world built on deception, trust still matters. So buckle up, because in this mission, there's no safety net, no script, and no way out but through. 2. Skyfall, 2012. When MI6 comes under attack and secrets of the past resurface, James Bond must confront his own mortality and the ghost that knows him too well. There's something haunting about Skyfall. It isn't just a spy movie, it's a story about a man who's both weapon and wound. James Bond, the legend, the unbreakable Agent 007, suddenly looks human, bruised, aged, questioning his place in a world that's moving faster than he can reload his gun. And that's the hook. What happens when the world's most confident spy starts to doubt himself? The film opens with chaos, Bond chasing a mercenary across Istanbul. Bullets flying, adrenaline pounding, until a single wrong command sends him plunging from a moving train into the abyss. Everyone thinks he's dead, but he doesn't die, he disappears, and in that void, he becomes something else, tired, broken, but not done. When MI6 is attacked and M's past sins are dragged into the light, Bond returns, not because of duty, but because somewhere inside, loyalty still burns hotter than revenge. Skyfall pulls you into its world of smoke and mirrors, where every reflection hides another secret. The villain, Silva, portrayed with unsettling charm by Javier Bardem, isn't just another megalomaniac. He's a mirror image of Bond himself, a betrayed son of MI6. Scarred by the same institution that made him. Their duel isn't about power or money, it's personal. It's about a mother figure, M, and 2 sons fighting for her recognition, her forgiveness, her love. But amid the emotional wreckage, the action is cinematic poetry. The neon-lit brawl in Shanghai, the chilling silence of the Macau casino fight, and that breathtaking finale at the Skyfall estate, Bond's childhood home turned battlefield, all feel like chapters in a tragic opera. The gunfire isn't just sound, it's rhythm. The shadows aren't just darkness, they're memory. And then there's Judi Dench at her finest, standing unflinching as the walls close in. Her relationship with Bond isn't duty-bound anymore, it's almost maternal. Tinged with regret and pride. When she finally falls, it's not just the end of an era for MI6, it's the end of innocence for Bond. You can see it in his eyes. That final acceptance that being a spy means carrying ghosts forever. By the time the credits roll, you realize Skyfall isn't about espionage, it's about legacy. About what's left of a man when the myth fades away. It's elegant, violent, intimate, and achingly human. So when the music swells and Bond walks into the mist, you can't help but wonder, how much of James Bond is left under that armor, and how much of him died at Skyfall? 3. The Bourne Ultimatum, 2007. A man with no past races against the world's most powerful agencies to uncover the truth about who he really is. There's something terrifying about not knowing who you are. Imagine waking up with scars you don't remember, hunted by people you can't name, and the only thing you're sure of is that you're dangerous. That's Jason Bourne, a ghost who shouldn't exist, a weapon that refuses to obey. The Bourne Ultimatum isn't just a spy thriller, it's a chase for identity, for memory, for the last shred of humanity left inside a man built to kill. From the first heartbeat of the film, the tension never lets go. The camera never stands still, it breathes with Bourne, shakes with his panic, sprints with his desperation. He's on the run across continents, Moscow, London, Madrid, Tangier, New York, leaving chaos in his wake. Always one step ahead, never free. Every move he makes is instinctive, a muscle memory from a life he's trying to forget. You can almost feel the weight of the invisible hand of the CIA tightening around him, trying to pull him back into the darkness. But the Bourne Ultimatum is not about spectacle, it's about survival. There are no fancy tuxedos, no witty one-liners, no shaken martinis, just raw grit and pulse-pounding realism. The rooftop chases in Tangier, the bone-snapping fight in the cramped apartment, the relentless car crash in Manhattan, it all feels too real. Too close. There's no choreography here, just chaos that somehow feels beautifully precise. What keeps you watching isn't just the action, it's the man behind it. Bourne is both hunter and prey, victim and villain. He's not fighting to save the world, he's fighting to save himself from what he once was. Each file he uncovers, each face he remembers, brings him closer to the moment he chose to become a weapon. And when he finally looks that truth in the eye, it's not triumph he feels, it's regret. The cost of remembering is heavier than the mercy of forgetting. Paul Greengrass's camera turns paranoia into art, making every shadow feel like an enemy and every silence a threat. The sound of a footstep can raise your pulse, and a glance across a crowded train station can feel like a war. By the time the story circles back to where it all began, to the secret project called Treadstone, Bourne is no longer running. He's ready to end it. When he finally stands over the truth of his creation, there's no explosion, no revenge, just release. The Bourne Ultimatum closes not with victory, but with peace. The man who was made to be a ghost finally becomes human again. And as he falls into the water one last time, you can't help but hold your breath, because maybe, just maybe, Jason Bourne has finally found himself. 4. Kingsman. The Secret Service, 2014. A street smart kid gets a chance to become a gentleman spy in a secret organization that saves the world with style, wit, and a perfectly tailored suit. If James Bond had a wild, rebellious younger cousin, it would be Kingsman, the Secret Service. This isn't your typical spy story wrapped in gloom and guilt. It's pure adrenaline dressed in a bespoke suit. It asks one daring question. What if saving the world didn't require you to lose your soul, only to sharpen your manners? At the heart of it is Eggsy, a kid from the rough side of London, trapped between bad choices and wasted potential. He's reckless, angry, and brilliant in all the ways that scare people, But then comes Harry Hart, the gentleman spy with an umbrella deadlier than a gun and charm sharper than a blade. Harry sees something in Eggsy, not just talent, but the hunger to be better, to belong. And from that moment, Eggsy's world changes forever. Kingsman pulls you into its world with a wink and a punch, a hidden agency operating under a tailor shop. Where class meets chaos. Training isn't just about shooting or fighting. It's about learning how to keep your cool while the world burns around you. It's about turning rage into precision and turning boys into legends. Each scene hums with energy, from skydiving tests without parachutes to dinner parties that turn into deadly traps. Every frame is polished with British charm, then splattered with delightful madness. And then there's Valentine, Samuel L. Jackson's tech billionaire with a lisp and a plan to save humanity by destroying most of it. He's colorful, clever, and absolutely unhinged. A villain straight out of a comic book who somehow feels perfectly real in our world of power and tech obsession. His twisted vision forces Eggsy and the Kingsmen to prove that old-fashioned honor and decency still matter, even when the world no longer believes in them. But beyond the humor and hyper-stylized action, Kingsman has heart. It's a story about second chances, about rising from the dirt without forgetting where you came from. When Eggsy steps into that suit, it's not just a costume. It's a declaration that class isn't defined by birth, but by character. The film's choreography is nothing short of electric, especially the now iconic church scene. A balletic explosion of violence choreographed to classic rock. It's ridiculous, breathtaking, and strangely poetic, a perfect summary of the movie itself. By the end, when Eggsy finally claims his place among the Kingsmen, you can't help but cheer. Because Kingsman, the Secret Service isn't just a spy movie, it's a love letter to the genre. A playful rebellion against its clichés. And a reminder that true gentlemen don't need permission to save the world, only good shoes and the right attitude. 5. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, 2011. In a world of secrets and betrayals. A retired spy must uncover a hidden mole before the entire intelligence service collapses. Have you ever felt that quiet tension? The kind that doesn't shout but seeps into your bones? That's the world of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. This is not about high-octane chases or explosions. It's a slow-burning labyrinth where every whispered word, every cautious glance, carries the weight of life and death. George Smiley, played with haunting precision by Gary Oldman, isn't your typical hero. He's quiet, deliberate, almost invisible, but his mind is a steel trap, hunting a ghost inside the very organization he once served. The film opens in a world still echoing with the chill of the Cold War, where alliances are fragile, trust is currency, and betrayal can be a shadow in the same room as you. Smiley is drawn out of retirement when a deep mole is suspected inside MI6. The question isn't just who is the traitor, it's how many truths have already been twisted. And who can be trusted when everyone wears a mask? From the first meeting to the last confrontation, the tension wraps around you like fog, never letting go. This is espionage stripped to its essence. The danger is invisible. The thrill comes not from gunfire, but from the delicate dance of information. Every notebook, every phone call, every seemingly trivial question could unlock or destroy entire networks of spies. Watching Smiley work is like watching a chess grandmaster anticipate 20 moves ahead. The stakes are enormous, yet the world outside barely notices. And that's the beauty. The war is silent, and every revelation cuts deeper because it feels intimate, personal. The cinematography mirrors the tone perfectly. Muted grays, rainy streets, and dimly lit offices create a claustrophobic atmosphere that mirrors the paranoia of the characters. You feel the chill, the isolation, the endless questioning of what is real and what is a lie. The score whispers rather than shouts, each note amplifying the suspense without stealing the scene. And then there's the emotional core. Smiley isn't just solving a puzzle, he's navigating the wreckage of a career, the betrayals of friends, and the loneliness of a life spent in service to a country that rarely thanks you. His humanity is what anchors the story, making every revelation more than a plot twist. It becomes a moral and emotional reckoning. By the final scenes, when the mole is unmasked, the satisfaction isn't in the victory, but in the revelation itself, in the quiet triumph of intellect over deceit, patience over chaos, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy doesn't explode with action, it detonates in your mind, leaving a lasting imprint of suspense, tension, and haunting elegance. So, if you're ready to step into a world where silence speaks louder than gunfire, where a single look can betray an empire, then follow Smiley, but beware. In this game, the shadows are always watching. 6. Atomic Blonde, 2017. A top-level MI6 agent is sent to Berlin during the Cold War to recover a stolen list of double agents, facing betrayal, deception, and deadly intrigue at every turn. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to walk alone in a city where everyone could be your enemy, and every shadow might hide a knife? That's the world of Atomic Blonde. A place where glamour and violence collide, and survival demands wit, speed, and a willingness to blur moral lines. Charlize Theron's Lorraine Broughton is not just a spy, she's a force of nature, carrying secrets as sharp as the stilettos she walks in, moving with deadly grace through a Berlin divided by walls and whispers. The moment Lorraine steps off the plane, you're pulled into a storm of intrigue. Cold War Berlin is dripping with tension, smoke-filled rooms, neon-lit streets, and a network of informants, double agents, and assassins who could kill you before you even know their name. Lorraine navigates this treacherous world with style and lethal precision, balancing charm, deception, and raw power. Every conversation is a test, every handshake could be your last, and every glance might hide a threat. What makes Atomic Blonde so gripping isn't just the action, though the fight sequences are brutally gorgeous, it's the constant uncertainty. You never know who to trust, or even if Lorraine herself is telling the truth. The film plays with perception, leading you down twisted corridors where alliances shift like smoke, and loyalty is a dangerous gamble. The cold, gritty streets of Berlin become a chessboard, and Lorraine is both queen and pawn, making moves with deadly elegance. And then there's the action, raw, visceral, and unforgettable. The hallway fight scene, one continuous, bone-crunching shot, makes you feel every punch, every shove, every desperate grab. There's no hiding behind quick cuts or digital effects. You can almost hear the blood pounding, almost feel the exhaustion as Lorraine fights her way through enemies who underestimate her at every turn. It's thrilling, intense, and terrifyingly real. But beneath the violence, there's heart and vulnerability. Lorraine's struggles aren't only with her enemies but with the emotional cost of her life, the sacrifices, the betrayals, and the isolation of being a spy who can trust no one. Her intelligence and cunning are matched only by the loneliness she carries. A reminder that even the most powerful agent pays a price for the secrets she keeps. By the final moments, when the web of deception unravels and Lorraine's mission reaches its explosive climax, you're left breathless, not just from the stunts, but from the weight of survival, loyalty, and human complexity she embodies. Atomic Blonde isn't just a spy movie, it's a masterclass in style, suspense, and the harsh poetry of espionage. So buckle up and step into Lorraine Broughton's shoes, but remember, in this game, the line between friend and foe is razor thin, and one wrong move could be your last. 7. Spy Game, 2001. A veteran CIA operative risks everything to rescue his protégé, revealing the moral ambiguities and hidden costs of a life in espionage. Have you ever felt the tension of watching a master play a game where every move could mean life or death? Spy Game throws you into that world from the very first frame, where cunning, patience, and calculation matter more than bullets and explosions. Robert Redford's Nathan Muir isn't just a spy, he's a strategist. A chess player who manipulates time, people, and circumstance to achieve what seems impossible. And then there's Tom Bishop, played by Brad Pitt, young, brash, and dangerously naive, the perfect apprentice whose life hangs on every decision made by his mentor. The film opens with Bishop in a Chinese prison, facing imminent execution, while Muir sits thousands of miles away in Washington, orchestrating a rescue with precision that feels almost surgical. But here's the hook. The thrill doesn't come from high-speed chases or spectacular shootouts. It comes from the invisible battlefield of information, secrets whispered, alliances forged and broken, and every conversation holding the weight of a potential catastrophe. The tension is psychological, moral, and profoundly human. Spy Game is a meditation on trust and loyalty. The CIA is portrayed as a living, breathing organism, with every agent just a cog, expendable and disposable. Muir has spent decades navigating this treacherous world, training Bishop to survive in it. And now every lesson, every manipulation, comes to life as he tries to save the young man he both admires and fears might be lost forever. There's a delicate intimacy in their mentor-protege relationship, a bond forged under pressure, tested by betrayal, and defined by the unspoken sacrifices demanded by a career in shadows. The film's pacing is deliberate, almost like a measured heartbeat, pulling you deeper into the moral ambiguity of espionage. The flashbacks between Muir's past operations and the present-day rescue plan reveal not just technique, but the emotional toll of living a life in which rules are flexible and morality is negotiable. You can feel Muir's weariness, his nostalgia, and his frustration, and yet, he remains sharp, cunning, and ruthlessly effective. And while Spy Game may lack the explosive spectacle of other spy thrillers, it more than makes up for it with cerebral tension and emotional depth. Watching Muir manipulate governments, enemies, and allies alike is like watching a master strategist play three-dimensional chess, where the stakes are immeasurably high and the consequences unforgiving. By the final moments, when Bishop is rescued and the threads of Muir's plan are revealed, there's a quiet triumph, not the roar of victory, but the satisfaction of watching skill, patience, and wisdom prevail. Spy Game reminds us that espionage is not just about action, it's about intellect, loyalty, and the haunting question of what it costs to save someone in a world built on lies. So lean in, because in this game, every word, every glance, and every choice matters, and the difference between life and death could hinge on a single secret. 8. Body of Lies, 2008. A CIA operative navigates a web of deception and danger in the Middle East, balancing intelligence, loyalty, and the blurred lines between right and wrong. Have you ever felt the tension of standing at the edge of a precipice, knowing that one misstep could ignite a war? That's the pulse of Body of Lies, a film that doesn't just show espionage, it drags you into its dust-filled streets, smoky safe houses, and shadowy corridors where every word carries the weight of life and death. Leonardo DiCaprio's Roger Ferris is more than a spy, he's a man tethered between duty and conscience, maneuvering through a world where the lines of morality are constantly redrawn and every ally could be an enemy in disguise. The story pulls you into Jordan and Iraq, a land where violence and politics are inseparable, and the difference between winning and losing is measured in human lives rather than trophies. Ferris is tasked with infiltrating terrorist networks and providing intelligence back to the CIA. But the closer he gets, the murkier the stakes become. This isn't the high-gloss, gadget-filled espionage of Hollywood, it's raw, brutal, and terrifyingly real. Every meeting, every intercepted message, and every negotiation could spark disaster. What makes Body of Lies truly gripping is the tension between strategy and humanity. Ferris is brilliant, resourceful, and relentless, but he is also haunted by the costs of his actions. He's constantly walking a tightrope between protecting lives and deceiving everyone around him, from his CIA handlers to the operatives on the ground. And then there's Hanny, Mark Strong, a figure who embodies both ally and threat, reminding us that in the world of espionage, clarity is a luxury few can afford. The film's action sequences are not about spectacle for its own sake, they're pulse-pounding and grounded, emphasizing suspense over flash. A car chase through a crowded street becomes more than a set piece, it's a negotiation of survival, strategy, and split-second decision-making. A single gunshot or misstep could unravel months of careful planning, and you feel that danger in your chest as the tension ratchets higher. Yet beneath the adrenaline lies the emotional core, a man trying to do his job without losing himself. Ferris is not invincible, nor is he infallible. He questions orders, wrestles with betrayal, and navigates the moral ambiguity that defines modern espionage. Every victory is tempered by the knowledge of collateral damage, and every loss leaves an indelible mark. By the time the final revelations unfold, you realize Body of Lies is more than a spy thriller, it's a meditation on deception, loyalty, and the human cost of intelligence work. It's about the silent battles waged in minds and hearts, not just on streets and deserts. So lean in, because in this world, the enemy isn't always obvious. And survival demands more than skill, it demands conscience, courage, and the courage to face the consequences of every lie. 9. Salt, 2010. A CIA officer goes on the run after being accused of being a Russian spy, forcing her to prove her innocence while surviving relentless pursuit and deadly conspiracies. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to live a life where every friend could be a foe? Every shadow might hide a bullet, and the truth is always one step ahead of you? That's the electrifying world of Salt, where Angelina Jolie's Evelyn Salt moves like a phantom through a web of lies, deception, and danger that seems impossible to escape. From the moment she's accused of being a double agent, the tension seizes you, because in her world, running isn't optional, it's survival. Salt isn't just a spy, she's a storm, a force of intelligence, physical prowess, and instinct that refuses to be cornered. The film hooks you with the uncertainty of her true allegiance. Is she betraying her country? Or is she manipulating the manipulations of others to stay alive? Every chase, every hand-to-hand fight, every clever maneuver is a testament to her ingenuity and relentless determination. And as viewers, we're caught in the exhilarating confusion, constantly questioning, who is really in control? The movie thrives on pacing and relentless suspense. From high-speed chases through New York streets to tense confrontations with her own colleagues at the CIA, Salt moves like a shadow that refuses to be pinned down. Her mind works faster than anyone else's, turning each threat into an opportunity, each trap into a survival game that feels both realistic and thrilling. You feel the rush of adrenaline as if you're running alongside her, every heartbeat matching the staccato rhythm of her fight for survival. Yet beneath the action, there's a psychological layer that makes the story pulse with intensity. Salt is not invulnerable, she's human, constantly balancing the weight of loyalty, ethics, and the brutal choices she must make to stay alive. The film explores themes of trust, deception, and identity, forcing the audience to consider what it would mean to live a life where nothing and no one is certain. The stakes are personal as much as they are global. One wrong move could ignite a chain reaction that reaches far beyond her own life. What makes Salt unforgettable is the way it combines elegance and brutality. The fight sequences are visceral, meticulously choreographed, yet they never overshadow the human story at the center. You see her vulnerability as clearly as you see her strength, and that duality keeps you hooked, questioning, and utterly engaged. By the final act, when Salt's motives are revealed and the intricate web of betrayal unravels, the thrill doesn't end, it evolves. You're left contemplating the blurred lines between right and wrong, loyalty and deception, survival and morality. Salt isn't just a spy thriller, it's a pulse-pounding meditation on what it means to trust, to fight, and to live in a world built on secrets. So hold your breath and follow Salt, but remember, in this game, every move counts, every secret matters, and no one is ever truly safe. 10. Tenet, 2020. A secret agent embarks on a mind-bending mission to prevent World War III, using time inversion technology to fight enemies before they strike. Have you ever imagined fighting a war where the enemy has already won in your past? Or where bullets can unshoot themselves before you even pull the trigger? That's the dizzying world of Tenet, where Christopher Nolan twists time into a weapon and espionage into a mind-bending puzzle. John David Washington's protagonist is no ordinary spy. He steps into a reality where cause and effect are fluid, where every decision ripples forwards and backwards, and where the very concept of survival is rewritten. From the first scene, the film grips you with a sense of vertigo. A building explodes, but time doesn't behave normally. People and objects move in ways that defy instinct, creating a tension that is both thrilling and disorienting. You are immediately pulled into protagonist's perspective, confused, alert, and utterly hooked, because understanding the rules of this world is as critical as staying alive in it. Every mission, every fight, every chase is not just about skill or strength, but about intuition, perception, and the courage to act when the rules of time themselves are unreliable. What makes Tenet extraordinary is its blend of espionage and theoretical physics. The protagonist must navigate a landscape where information is literally moving backwards. Bullets fly the wrong way, and enemies can strike from the past. Yet amid the chaos, human stakes remain clear: betrayal, loyalty, and the desperate effort to protect the future. The film constantly asks, how far would you go to change what's already happened? And the answer unfolds in breathtaking sequences that keep you leaning forward in your seat. The action is visceral, yet cerebral. Car chases invert, fistfights rewind, and large-scale set pieces are choreographed with precision that makes your brain spin as much as your adrenaline pump. You feel every punch, every crash, and every fleeting moment of temporal disorientation. Nolan's signature attention to detail ensures that the spectacle never overshadows the story, it amplifies it, immersing you fully in a spy thriller that is unlike anything you've seen. And beneath the complexity, there's character and urgency. The protagonist's relationships with Neil and Kat are anchored in trust, doubt, and necessity, reminding you that even in a world where time can move backwards, human emotion and intuition remain forward-moving forces. Every revelation challenges your assumptions, and every twist keeps you questioning what's real, what's manipulated, and what it means to act with purpose. By the final sequence, when the strands of time converge and the stakes become fully tangible, you're left exhilarated, exhausted, and awe-struck. Tenet isn't just a spy movie, it's a meditation on fate, agency, and the intricate dance between choice and consequence. So brace yourself, because in this mission, understanding the enemy isn't enough, you have to understand time itself. And every second could rewrite the past, the future, and everything in between. And there you have it, 10 thrilling journeys into the hidden world of spies, where danger, deception, and daring moves define every moment. Which mission would you take on if the fate of the world rested in your hands? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your favorite spy hero. If these films got your heart racing, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a deep dive into the most electrifying action movies. Your next adventure is just a click away.